Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to take a stack of source material articles, research, or, well, in this case, a truly extraordinary ancient story, and turn it into knowledge you can use right now.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into Hassan and the City of Brass's liberation. It's a spectacular tale, just filled with magic and, frankly, a lot of terror.
Yeah.
Our mission for you is to skip the long read and get straight to the heart of it.
We want to extract those chilling details and really understand the universal ideas of heroism and curse breaking that make this story so unforgettable.
And it all starts with the protagonist. You can't have this story without him. Hassan al-Badr Hassan of the Full Moon, a young merchant from Baghdad.
Right, but the source material is very specific. He's not just some successful businessman. It defines him by his beauty, sure, but more importantly, by his relentless hunger for marvels.
And that phrase, hunger for marvels, that's everything. I mean, most merchants, you define them by their caution, right? Their ability to calculate risk. But Hassan is driven by a curiosity so powerful it overrides all common sense. He's not really looking for profit. He's looking for the incredible, the unheard of,
It's that restlessness that's the only reason he ends up where he does.
which is, of course, in the middle of an absolute catastrophe.
He takes a ship, sailing way beyond the known horizons, and after many weeks, fate steps in violently.
A huge storm. It just shatters the vessel against some hidden rocks. Everyone else is gone. Hassan is the only one left, clinging to a piece of the wreck, and he gets washed ashore.
And what he finds waiting for him is, well, it's the definition of the marvelous, but in its most terrifying form.
He sees this mighty, walled city right there on the coast. Its towers are glittering with gold in this cruel sun, and the gates are wide open.
Almost inviting. You'd think it promises, immense wealth or some kind of ultimate knowledge.
But the first thing that stops you, and it certainly stopped Hassan, is the stillness.
The silence.
The absolute silence. Not just quiet, profound. No sound of life at all. No voices, no footsteps, not even a breath. It's a city that's perfectly preserved, but utterly, utterly dead.
Okay, so let's unpack this. He goes inside, and the scene he finds is why this story has stuck around for so long. This isn't just an abandoned city. That would be, what, spooky, sad.
This is active horror.
Yeah.
Precisely. The markets are overflowing with goods. Silks are still draped on the stalls. Jewels are scattered right where they were being shown. He goes into these palaces and finds tables still set for these magnificent feasts.
And there's no dust, no decay, no sign that anyone left. The only evidence is that they just stopped.
Right. And the source material is so clear on the nature of the curse. This wasn't a plague, it wasn't an army. Every single living thing, man, woman, child, even the horses in the stables, the dogs by the heart.
All of them turned to brass.
It's like the universe's most surgical pause button was hit. And that state, that metal state, is where the real terror is. Because they're frozen mid-action.
The details are just incredible. A merchant frozen while haggling, the coins literally suspended between his brass fingers and the customers.
A bride lifting her veil forever. A child reaching for a toy that's fallen, just stuck in that reach.
But it's not just a city of statues, is it? I mean, that's the difference between cold marble and what he found. The detail that really sticks with you, the truly terrifying part, is that the curse didn't kill them, it trapped them.
That's the core psychological horror of it. The text tells us explicitly that only their eyes still moved.
Oh,
They were trapped and screaming without sound. So you have thousands upon thousands of people immortalized in metal, but eternally conscious of their own paralysis. Just imagine the noise that isn't there.
the silent, conscious screams.
Exactly. It completely changes the feeling of the city. We're told Hassan's blood ran ice cold. And your first thought is, he should run. The merchant in him should say, grab the gold and get out.
But that hunger for marvels kicks in again. That drive for the ultimate unknown, it just pushes him forward.
It's a really compelling choice by the storyteller. If he were a cautious man, the story would end right there. But because he has to understand the why of it all, he presses on through the terror toward the royal center.
And in the royal palace, he finds the zenith of this whole morbid scene. The brass king is sitting on a golden throne. His crown is a little askew. His mouth is open in a silent command that will never be heard.
And right there beside him, the tragic centerpiece. This beautiful maiden, you assume it's the princess, and she's frozen mid-scream. Her brass fingers are just clutching at the empty air.
This whole scene just sets the stakes. It's a living tomb, and even the most powerful people in it were completely helpless.
This overwhelming stillness, it defines the day. But then night falls. And the source says it falls like a blade.
And at the stroke of midnight, the sky literally tears open. The author of the curse is about to make his entrance.
So we're shifting here from pure horror to magical confrontation. Descending onto the palace roof is this figure of pure menace, a black shape with these vast bat-like wings.
The Christian sorcerer of Mount Kof. And the detail about his voice is just perfect. It isn't a shout or a growl, it's the grinding of iron.
It's the perfect sound for the fate he created.
Mm-hmm.
And the sorcerer, in his arrogance, he just announces his motive to the unmoving city. He says the king betrayed him, so he inflicted this ultimate curse, turning every soul to brass while they were still alive.
And maybe because he has no one left to boast to, he comes back every night just to gloat.
And in that gloating, he makes the classic villain mistake.
He gives away the rules, he makes his victory conditional.
That's the crucial moment, the pivot point of the whole story. He proclaims the condition for the curse's permanence, and this is what turns this huge, complex problem into a single, decisive mission for Hassan. He says, any stranger who enters shall remain brass until I myself am dead.
That one sentence, that is the single most important line in the entire narrative. The complexity of the magic, the scale of the horror, all of it.
None of it matters?
Right. The problem isn't the brass, the problem is the sorcerer. The curse is tied directly to the caster's life.
And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, this is the classic, simple solution to a complex problem. Hassan doesn't need to learn magic or find some, hidden antidote. He doesn't have to undo the brass itself.
He just has to eliminate the condition.
He just needs to kill the sorcerer.
And I think that speaks to what heroism really is in this story. He gets the assignment immediately. Most people, faced with an entire trapped city, they'd be paralyzed. They'd look for an equally massive solution. Hassan finds the one weak link in the rule set.
And you have to remember, he's just a merchant. He's just seen thousands of people trapped, screaming without a sound. He knows that if he fails, he joins them. His hunger for marvels brought him here, and now this sorcerer is his only way out.
So his hand finds the hilt of his sword. You get this beautiful contrast between his quiet resolve and the loud, iron-grinding villain. He moves silently through the palace, climbs up to the roof.
That quiet movement is key. He's using the silence of the curse against its creator. The sorcerer made a world without sound, and Hassan turns that silence into stealth.
The opportunity comes from the sorcerer's own ego. The source says he was asleep, drunk with his own triumph, just completely secure, believing no mortal could possibly challenge the rules he'd made.
It's the definition of magical arrogance.
Which means the climax isn't some grand, drawn-out fight.
No, not at all. The action is swift, it's silent, and it is decisive.
One stroke, clean, silent. The sorcerer's head rolls across the roof tiles and just falls into the darkness below. It's such a brutal, practical end to such elaborate, sweeping magic.
No time for doubt, no second guessing. Just the direct application of the rule set.
And the curse's reaction is instantaneous. The magic doesn't unravel. It violently snaps. The source describes the brass cracking and falling away from thousands of people like burnt paper.
It's an incredible image. You can almost hear it. This massive, immediate release of magical pressure.
Just think about the sensory explosion. For days, maybe weeks, all he's known is this cold, deadly silence. And then suddenly, thousands of people draw breath all at once.
The sound of a kingdom coming back to life. It must have been deafening, overwhelming. Cries, relief, motion.
That's the emotional payoff. The first thing Hassan sees is the king staggering off his throne, weeping. He's not a brass puppet anymore.
And the maiden, the one who was frozen mid-scream.
She collapses into Hassan's arms, warm, trembling, and alive. The curse is just completely broken. Not by matching magic with magic, but by a single stroke of fatal logic.
It really says a lot about the value of decisive action. The kingdom was stuck in this crisis paralysis, waiting for a solution as big as the problem. But the hero, the outsider, he saw that all it took was a surgical strike at the source.
Which leads, of course, to the ultimate reward. The grateful king gives Hassan half his kingdom and the hand of his daughter, the now living maiden, in marriage.
It's the highest honor. And for someone who risked it all on a hunger for marvels, not for power or land, he gets both. He wasn't just a visitor, he became part of the kingdom he saved.
And they ruled together in joy for many years. He earned that kingship not by birth, but by bravery, by cunning.
But even kings feel the pull of home eventually. When Hassan finally longed for Baghdad, they sailed back. And they did not travel light.
No. The ships were heavy with gold and tales no mortal had ever heard. The real treasure wasn't just the gold, it was the story itself, the ultimate marvel that finally satisfied his hunger.
So if we step back and look at the journey you just took with us, we've seen how Hassan's unique motivation led him into the city of terrifying stillness. We dissected the rules of the curse, that crucial if-then condition.
And we followed the single, swift act of defiance that brought an entire kingdom back from the brink of eternal silence.
The story really provides a kind of blueprint for strategic thinking under pressure. If a massive problem has a stated condition for its end, why overcomplicate it? You don't fight the symptom.
You attack the source, no matter how terrifying that confrontation might be. He didn't try to master the sorcerer's power, he mastered the sorcerer's weakness. And that distinction is the real insight from this deep dive.
So as you face challenges that feel overwhelming or frozen in your own life, the brass cities you might face, we want you to take away the final provocative moral that's woven through this entire story.
It's the ultimate takeaway. Remember, traveler, some curses can only be broken by a blade in the night and a heart that refuses to turn back.
What does that mean for you? Well, sometimes the biggest, most static problems don't need years of gradual change. They need a single, drastic, decisive move executed with a heart so resolved it simply refuses to accept that the current situation is permanent.
That refusal to turn back is sometimes the only magic you really need. Until next time, keep diving deep into the stories that shape our understanding of power and of potential.